Creating professional presentations can often be a time-consuming task. It can often mean spending hours or days drafting the presentation as well as fine-tuning it. In this video, we're going to be looking at two AI programs, the first one being Copilot in PowerPoint and the second one being Gamma. Now, both are designed to help fast-track the process for developing your slides so that you can actually focus on your key messages. So which one's better? So in this video, we're going to be looking at the overall design, layout, content, as well as usability. So here we have a 5-page proposal document around integrating AI agents on a website. So we're going to be using this document to compare the pair between Copilot in PowerPoint as well as with Gamma. So first off, open up PowerPoint. Now here I have a template that's a standard template in PowerPoint. Now to activate the Copilot feature, click on the icon here on the top right-hand side. So once you've activated Copilot, you'll be given a number of options that you can see. So you can create a presentation using a set of instructions or some prompts, or you can type in your prompts here. Because we're using an existing document and we want to be able to convert that into a PowerPoint slide deck, we just need to type in our prompts. So here I've just typed in, summarize the content in the document and turn it into a sales slide deck with 6 slides. Now to add in the document, you just need to save the document in OneDrive first. And then once you've saved the document in your OneDrive, hit / and then copy the link. And then once you've copied the link to the shared document, hit generate. Now, as this is an existing slide deck, Copilot has asked me if I want to override this particular copy. So I'll just select yes. If we just scroll down, Copilot is now giving me an outline of the presentation that you can see here. And now it's generated the slide deck. One of the first things that I've noticed is that it's generated 17 slides. Although I did ask earlier to limit that to 6 slides, it's actually generated more slides than I've actually asked it to. What Copilot has also done is it's created some speaker's notes, as well as it's generated some images, as well as the layout for the design. Now, while not directly related to Copilot, you can use Microsoft Designer to adjust your layout. Okay, let's have a look at the slide deck. So here's the cover page. Now, although it didn't actually include an image here, we can always add in an image. Now, if we have a look at the agenda slide, I did notice that there's some missing information. I also noticed there's some missing information around the objectives, as well as the key benefits. So let's just add in our prompt. So here I've just typed in on slide 5, summarize and add in the key benefits. Now here you can see that Copilot has generated a summary based on the documentation. So although it didn't actually add it into the slide, you can easily copy and paste the details over. As this is a quick copy and paste, you may need to format your slides accordingly. Now let's have a look at the images. So on slide 3 under the executive summary, Copilot has automatically added an image here, as well as some text overlay. The text here is a little bit hard to read. The image selected is a little bit odd. Although the presentation is related to AI agents, the image doesn't actually represent the information that's on the presentation. If we have a look at some of the other images that Copilot has selected, it's not the best in terms of representing the information on the presentation. Layout-wise, although Copilot has given us a number of different options in terms of layout, it does feel a little bit clunky in terms of the style as well as the presentation of the information. Now, if I was to use this presentation in a professional environment, I will need to edit the presentation as well as the design and layout. However, having said that, it is a quick way to be able to transfer the information within the document over to a presentation rather than copy and pasting the details over manually. So now we're just going to jump into the Gamma app. So now once you've logged in, you'll be given 3 options here. So in Gamma, we're going to be using the same file that we created earlier around integrating AI agents on a website. So here we're going to select Import File, upload our file, select Presentation, and then hit Continue to generate the presentation. So one of the first things you need to do is select the amount of text that you want to have on each slide. So here we have minimal, concise, detailed, or extensive. So in this example, we're just going to leave on concise. In terms of language, the default is set on English in the US. However, you can select from a number of different languages that you can see. At the bottom here, Gamma is showing 8 cards, which essentially refers to the number of slides that's on your presentation. So that we can compare the pair between the Gamma version as well as the PowerPoint version, I'll just change this to 6 slides and then hit continue. Next, you'll need to pick your theme. So in this example, I'm just going to pick the night sky theme. However, you can scroll through and have a look at the different theme options and select your own preference. And then once you've selected your preference, hit generate. And then Gamma will now start to generate your presentation. Now, based on my experience, this will only take a few minutes or so. And you can see here it's creating the presentation in real time. Initial impressions based on the first draft, completely blown away by the aesthetics of the presentation and how easy it was to convert a 5-page document into a presentation slide deck. The layout and design looks professional, and I really like the key features, as well as the timeline, as well as the industry stat page. Now let's have a quick look in terms of how Copilot in PowerPoint stacks up against Gamma when creating the presentation. In terms of design and layout, Gamma definitely takes the lead in terms of the design. It's more modern, visually engaging, as well as it makes the slide look more polished straight out of the box. The images generated by Gamma is definitely more visually appealing. However, as with any AI-generated image platform, you just need to double-check the images, as some of the text may not be legible. However, as this presentation is related to a website, AI-generated images is not always relevant, and you'll need to add in your own images. When we used Copilot in PowerPoint earlier, you may have recalled that it was missing some information. So for an example, it didn't actually include the key benefits section, which is important when you're creating a sales pitch. However, as we saw, we can always go back and add that manually. Copilot did automatically generate some speaker's notes, which can help with preparing for the presentation, whereas the speaker notes were not automatically generated within the Gamma app. Now, Gamma definitely takes the lead in terms of the design and the aesthetics of the presentation. Now, when it comes to speed, it's completely mind-blowing how quickly Gamma can turn a Word document into a PowerPoint presentation, literally within minutes. Now, having said that, you can make some changes. So if you'd like to learn more about how you can use Gamma in more detail, you might want to check out the next video here. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.